Hey guys, I want to do a quick review, give you my opinion of the Mobula7. I've had this for about 3 months now, and I've flown dozens of packs through it. So far, I really enjoy it. I got the version 1. This is the version 2 frame on here now. The version 1 frame lasted me longer than I expected given what everybody was saying about it. I beat it up pretty good and it lasted pretty well. It finally died when I slammed it into the concrete road out in front of my house. So after that I put the version 3 frame on. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like the version 3 frame. If you look at it, especially from the bottom, there's a lot more material and it creates a lot more drag. I noticed its tendency to fall off to the side when falling straight down was greatly increased. It was also a little bit heavier, which I just wasn't thrilled about. So I went ahead and got a version 2 frame. I've only got maybe a dozen packs on this. I have run into a few things and so far it's holding up just fine. The motors have been good. I've noticed that over time I'm getting a little bit more play in these motors than of course it had when it was brand new. This one's pretty bad. These motors do not have ball bearings in them, they're just bushings, which is fine, but they're not going to last as long as motors with ball bearings in them. They're just going to loosen up over time. And you can really see, well, you might be able to see, there's some decent slop in that, which of course leads to more vibration, which of course leads to more jello, which is never a good thing. I'm a big fan of the video part of the experience. I don't really fly to show other people that much. I mean, I have been posting a few videos on my channel, which has been kind of fun, but I like to fly for myself, and I like a good jello-free flight. This is still mostly jello-free, but I'm getting a little bit more as these motors wear. I will probably be buying a set of the version 2 motors that Happy Model will be offering soon. I think Race Day Quads has them on pre-order, or they may not be available yet. Of course, the version 2 motors, it's just the same motors that are on the trash can. Yashin and Happy Model are not the same company, but they certainly are working closely together on these quads. Okay, so what have I done to this quad since I've gotten it? Not a lot. The primary change I made was to these connectors. The original connectors are really kind of crummy. They're sheet metal in here. They're bent sheet metal, and they create a lot of resistance, which causes more sag, and it gives you lower or shorter flight times. So I got these solid pin PH2 connectors. I think they're called PH2 connectors. And I upgraded the wire to 24 gauge. I think these may have been 24 gauge, but comparing what came out and what I put in, this is better wire. This is good silicon wire. It wasn't expensive. I got this box of silicon hookup wire, Strive Day. It's 5 rolls, and there's enough to probably last you a lifetime in here, and I think it was like $11 on Amazon, so worth getting. I also 3D printed a different battery holder. I originally did this because I was flying 1S on here, and the battery holder that came with it didn't work for 1S. I don't really know what the companies are thinking when they create these frames. It seems like the same thing on the trash can. The holders don't actually hold batteries. Like, I really don't know what batteries they have in mind. It's not the ones they ship with. So it's just kind of weird that they design these holders this way, but that's the way they are, so that's the way it is. What else have I changed on this? The beeper inside, the original adhesive for it, just junk. It was bouncing around in there, so I got some command strip and cut it in and stuck it down. I really like that this has an actual beeper in it. The little motors do not beep very loudly, and unless you're sitting right on top of it, you're really not going to hear it. So it's really nice to have a beeper in this. Flight. On 1S, I can fly it inside, no problem. On 2S, I fly it outside. It's great. I love it. Flight times I get, I fly 250 milliamp batteries all the way up, milliamp hour batteries all the way up to 300 milliamp hour batteries. Flight times are similar because as the milliamp hour goes up, the weight goes up. So, and the weight, these are very sensitive to weight, of course. So I get about 3 minutes. If I'm just, you know, chilling, just cruising around some trees and stuff, maybe I can get 4 minutes. If I'm really getting it, maybe 2.5 minutes. As far as performance goes, you notice I'm flying props out here. I have the Mockingbird V3 set up on here, almost completely stock Mockingbird V3. I really like it. I enjoyed it the way it was originally, props in. The advantage to props out is when you're in hard turns, hard bank turns, you don't get that washout as bad. The disadvantage is if you're falling straight down or nearly straight down, it's going to try to fall off to the side a lot more. It's easy to overcome, just don't fall straight down. If you're doing a dive, you know, and then you can pull out of that at the end. Of course, as you're pulling out, you may get a little bit of wishy-washiness as well. The way I fly, I prefer props out. The Mockingbird V3 configuration runs props out. It works fine with the stock configuration. You don't really need to go in there and mess with it, but I like messing with everything. So anyway, that's about it. I really enjoy this. I've got some flight footage up on my YouTube page, and take a look at that. If you have any questions, let me know. And thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe and like if you will.